Ready Check Radio.
Stand by as we get ready to serve up all your news this week in the world of gaming. Welcome to Gaming Gumbo. Hello, Internet! It's Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and that means here on ReadyCheckRadio.com, we are doing Gaming Gumbo, your weekly gaming wrap-up show where we chat about everything that happened this week in the world of video gaming, or you know what, just whatever the hell we feel like talking about. That's the great thing when, you know, it's your show. The three of us can just do whatever the hell we want, right? Yeah, I think it works that way. Chat is joining us live, twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio. We hope sometime you'll consider coming over and joining us, whether it's for one of our podcasts, this one, Final Fantasy XIV show, any other shows that we got going on at any given particular time, or any of our streams, which are happening basically all throughout the week. Head on over to ReadyCheckRadio.com. The socials are in the upper right-hand corner. Click on all of them. Follow, subscribe, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. Turn on the notifications and tell your friends if you like what we do here. It's the easiest, fastest, and cheapest way to support us. And if you want to take us on the go, you can do that too. We're over there on Spotify. Give it a little follow, and you'll always get all of the latest podcasts. Joining me to go over everything in the world of gaming this week, or at least the stuff we thought interesting enough to talk about, Mr. Jason Winter. Yeah, Mike, you're looking good this evening, sir.
Well,
you look relaxed.
Thank you. I'm sort of relaxed, but I got to level with you, Mike.
Uh-oh.
There. I leveled with you.
What the hell is in your background? What is that thing?
This is the greatest toy ever. Look at this.
Oh, wow.
It's like one of those balancing, spinning dancer things.
Yeah.
Look at you.
It's
like you
still
got
going.
physics-based toys.
Uh-huh.
You're such a weirdo. Such a weirdo. Also on the line, resident artist of Ready Check Radio, Jan. What's up, sir?
Lots of emoticons, apparently.
Yeah. So for those of you that were joining us last week, we teased it. We are now part of the Twitch followers beta program. So when you are in twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio, even if you don't opt to financially support the channel by subscribing, you are welcome here. And you have follower emotes that you can use exclusively in our channel just for following twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio. You got 5 free ones there. And then, of course, there are the other ones that are in our sub-tiers, as always, which Yod is working on more. Because I can't ask Yod for one piece of art without getting 7. It just doesn't work.
Working on these things, and they're just one after another. They just come to your brain, and you just want to do them. And they're so easy to do.
He just keeps going.
Can you do an emote for this thing?
An emote for our tiny dancer back there.
Yeah.
Dancing for money. It does what Jason wants it to do.
I ain't danced for money since I was in college.
All right,
that club
good
shut down.
Lord. Let's get on to the video games because this is, oh, man. Those are rookie numbers, Jason. This is why you have to be here for pre-show, too. Before we get started, obviously something we're going to talk a lot more about on the Relic Grind on Thursday. The live letter was yesterday for Final Fantasy XIV, the last live letter before Endwalker is released.
Are we sure?
Which we thought was going to be 2 weeks from yesterday and will now be 4 weeks from yesterday. Yoshi P and team very apologetic. Yoshi P taking all the blame on this one, saying, everything from every team was ready, Jason. This was and he even said it was a selfish decision. He said, this is me as the director saying, we're going to lose a little master QA time due to all the architecture and server issues that they've been also trying to address, and I'm not comfortable. I want this to be perfect. So we're going to push this in 2 weeks. So just delaying it 14 days, assuring everybody that that is exactly the amount of time they need, apologizing for knowing people took days off work and things like that and maybe now need to reschedule, making sure that we were apprised on the staff at Square Enix and that they are taken care of as far as making sure they get time off for the holidays. He kind of ran through the whole thing in typical Yoshi P, very upset, kind of broken by this fashion. So what's your thought? I know you tweeted or you linked it in chat and you were like, you know what? I'm just not surprised anymore. I'm just not.
No, everything gets delayed now. Everything gets delayed. And it's not that stupid game company, why can't they release shit on time?
Yeah.
But it's like, at some point, the guys who set those dates are going to have to actually talk with the guys who make the games. Like, just talk with them. All right? Because...
Yeah, I don't know. But the thing is, like, in this particular case, I don't know if that works. We're talking about 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks,
right?
I'll admit, isn't the worst. Yeah, I know. But
what I do think was bad about this was how late they waited to make it.
Yeah.
I literally, like, I am one of those. For Final Fantasy XIV, I do request a couple of days off to just chill with the new expansion, right? From my day job. I did not request them until this week. Like, Wednesday or Thursday is when I put them in with my boss. Now, luckily, my day job, I'm very fortunate, very, very flexible. They don't care what I do and when I do it, as long as it's done when it's supposed to be, type deal. So it's no big deal on my end to say to my boss, hey, I'm going to take those days back. I'm going to back them up 2 weeks. No problem. But not a lot of people are in that fortunate situation, right, where that's a thing. So, I mean, I waited because I was like, if they're going to delay, which I thought was possible, Jason, to your point, they would have done it by now. We are 2 weeks from launch. This is a done deal. We're going. Let's go over to Mr. Happy's channel and cover the live letter live last night. And oh shit, we start with a delay.
And in typical, self-effacing, humble Japanese fashion, as you said, he took like an hour to do it. So
yeah, there was a lot of bowing, a lot of deep bowing.
Oh.
I did say Yad on the show. On Mr. Happy's channel last night, which it was Kronos, Sly, Happy, and myself. I said, I don't want to give Square Enix the credit here, because if this was another game from Square, this would have been a forum post or a press release that it was being delayed. This is very much a Yoshi P thing. Right. And hopefully it becomes a Square Enix thing. But the thing I said on the show was, can you imagine any other company announcing it this way? Like, Shadowlands was delayed. It was a blue post.
Yeah. In this case, this is another reason why Final Fantasy XIV has ruined me for all other MMOs, is because of the guy in charge.
Yeah.
Partially. Because of how much responsibility he takes for it. Because more than anything else, like you said, if it was any other Square Enix game, it would have been a Twitter post. It would have been, some random, little, oh, by the way, this happened. Not a, I'm sorry, I am taking personal responsibility for it. There would be no responsibility. But because of this man, because of how he built his team, how he built the game, everything, the same guy that went, well, 1.0 sucks, so it's free until it's good. I mean, this is the same man that did that.
Yeah,
and I mean, at the time, I wasn't playing the game. I only heard it from the wife, and I'm like, hey, that's kind of neat.
Yep.
But 14 wasn't for me at the time.
We're going to dig a lot more into this on Thursday. I just wanted to make sure we talked about it briefly here for anybody that didn't hear yet.
Right.
I find that hard to believe there would be any of you, but just in case.
Right.
We're going to talk about taking time off for expansions. Should it be something that you do? Do you have a right to be upset with this type of delay? And the answer, by the way, is yes, absolutely. It is 100% to be okay, upset, disappointed, all that. I saw people like, get over it, it's a video game. No. It's fine. You're fine. You start threatening developers, we have another problem. But we'll talk about all that stuff on Thursday. Getting into other video game news, Jason, this is kind of brilliant. We start off this show often giving you a Blizzard update because we don't run Snowbound right now, which was all Blizzard all the time. It's on hiatus given the situation with Blizzard until all of the hosts agree they feel comfortable doing the show again. So we've been kind of giving you a little Blizzard update here and there. But, we have mentioned Ubisoft in the past for similar allegations, for similar workplace conditions, and shifting people from one company to another without any, regard for the health of employees. And we also brought them up last week for a little email campaign about people not playing Far Cry 6 enough.
Mhm.
Well, the employees kind of said, "Hey, you could do better. You could do better. All right. We think you could do better too." And they went ahead and stole it, Jason. They just stole it.
Yeah, because it's just the same as the email was sent out from the protagonist or the antagonist of Far Cry 6 saying you're disappointed. Surely you can do better than this. You haven't played in like 3 weeks or whatever. So here is the version of that.
Yeah. Now keep in mind Ubisoft did like put together a small list of like demands that they wanted, just like Blizzard employees did, and so this is kind of stealing their Yad, as an artist, you got to be like, hey man, that's copyright infringement. But I think
See,
I think
email
even you as an
blasts.
artist might
Yeah.
let up on this one a little bit.
Well, email blasts are one thing because those are kind of shady as it is, especially with a lot of the
Right.
way how companies get their emails for those email blast type things. I used to have to do that for a living, and I didn't feel good about it. So, all in all, and plus, it's
Oh,
the developers and the artists that
Yeah,
decided, hey, let's do this.
yeah.
Mhm.
Let's take
It's
their campaign
it's
and
kind of
do this with
brilliant.
it. It
It's
is.
kind of
It
brilliant.
totally is.
I mean, it's got massive cojones, right,
Oh yeah.
Jason? Like, when you're sitting there looking at this and it's just 2 or 3 people looking at it and you're like, should we actually release this or is this going to, like, burn this place down if we do this? Like, you look at this and you go, no, send it. You're like,
yeah,
that's
this wasn't
brass
much for debate, I
balls.
don't think.
That's brass balls right there. Final Fantasy Steve, welcome to chat. Yes, I did make it through the live letter on Happy
That's a
Stream last
great
night.
game. Great name, by the way. Final Fantasy Steve.
I
Yeah.
said the same thing.
That's
I said the
amazing.
same exact thing. But yeah, so yeah, I'm dragging ass today. I'm really tired, but it's okay. We'll get through it. So kudos to Ubisoft staff. We thought this was brilliant. We wanted to put it right at the top of the show. It was number 1 there until Final Fantasy went ahead and delayed things yesterday. But
Right.
obviously the biggest news in gaming this week, guys, was Elden Ring, right? 20
It was.
minutes of gameplay for Elden Ring. If you've been waiting for this game since, we first saw it in 2017 or whatever, and throughout this year where we've got snippets of it, and now we finally have a release date, you can go pre-order the bad boy right now if you want to for February of next year, right?
Yeah, now
Yeah.
it's February.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
again, it was
February.
delayed, as everything
Yeah,
is.
it was delayed. February of 2022. We got 20 minutes of gameplay. I'm sure we all have massive opinions on this. Jason, this is a game that you've just been kind of like, I don't even think this is ever going to come out at some point. It was a gaming myth, a gaming urban legend. But now you've seen 20 minutes of gameplay. We've got a couple screenshots of the classes that Jason sent over just right before the show. We'll show those in a second. But as you sat and watched, what were you thinking? Is it a little more interesting to Mr. Winter now, or is it just, nah, it's still not my kind of thing?
I think it looks nice. And the reason
That's
I'm
very
not
succinct.
so I was thinking of, because we're coming up on it, and in 5 days is going to be the 10-year anniversary of Skyrim's release.
Yeah.
11/11/11. And I can
Okay.
remember when I first saw videos for Skyrim, and which were before that, like about 8 or 9 months beforehand,
Right.
and they blew me away seeing the graphics and the characters moving around. I
Yep.
don't know, whatever it was just the overall look of it. Also, dragons popping down, that was a huge deal, and the way people that wielded magic and
Yeah.
everything.
And this starts with the same thing. Here's a big ass dragon.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is it's like, okay, this needs to wow me. This needs to do something that I don't know as well. Like it needs to be something better than what I've seen in the past. And while it all looks good and it all looks competent, there's not that wow moment that I see that makes it look that much better or that much more fantastic than what I've seen before.
I think I
Which
know
might
what
be
you mean.
fine. If it is basically just the Elder Scrolls 6, that could be a good thing. That's kind of what I'm thinking. This is kind of the Elder Scrolls 6 is how I'm thinking of this.
Yeah, with a little bit of Demon Souls, Dark Souls thrown in.
Which could be good, and that's good. But it doesn't so much. It doesn't seem like the greatest thing ever, as some people are wanting to hype it as. So, but it's something I could still get interested in.
Yeah, I think we're echoing in your thing a little bit
Are we?
there.
Are we?
But what do
Okay.
you think about it, sir? Taking a peek at it.
Much like with what Jason said, it looks very competent. It's pretty, but I think and going off of what Jason said, I think what the thing is that it doesn't have a specific style.
Mhm.
It's like generic fantasy. Really
Thank
well
you,
Nin-
done.
artist. I needed that. That's what I was thinking of. I was trying to
Right.
figure that
It's
out.
really well done, generic fantasy.
Ninja pointing out in chat that there is no catchy
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dovahkiin, Dovahkiin, da 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 da
Yeah,
da. Yeah.
Hey,
it's
hey, whoa, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Easy. Easy.
yeah, go watch that for copyright.
Hey, come on! It's actually that's if you play Skyrim, I don't think you're gonna get DMCA'd.
But
Anyway.
it's like I said, it's really well done, but it's generic fantasy. It
Mhm.
doesn't have a specific feel to it. Like Final Fantasy has a specific feel to it. Warcraft has a specific feel to it. Hell, Skyrim, Dragon Age, all of them have a specific feel to it. You look at it and you go, "That's X game." This is like, okay, am I looking at D&D? Am I looking at Lord of the Rings? Am I looking at what
Wow.
am I looking at? It's really pretty, but what am I looking at?
Tough crowd. Damn. Wow. Tough crowd. I thought it looked amazing.
I mean, no, don't
I
get
mean,
me wrong. It does.
it looks
good,
good.
yeah.
I will concede a number of points that you have said, and they're points
Oh, that
similar to my own
that
anyway.
stab you through the. Oh man!
Right? Right?
And then I thought
I
he was dead after he shot him with the arrows, and he's like, "No, I got to do the sword now."
I thought it looked beautiful. It looked beautiful. I can't
Yeah.
wait to play it. I can't wait to play it. But I also went into the gameplay expecting exactly that. So like I didn't have this expectation that Jason, you kind of, and I don't think you had this expectation, but you said, hey, it's got to do something different. It's got to wow me. I went in expecting this is going to be full generic fantasy, and I'm cool with that. I just hope it tells an interesting story, right? Like, I was not looking for the big Elder Scrolls V moment where I see something I have never seen before, or something done to polish at a level I have never seen before. I fully expected going into this to get exactly what I did. It looks like typical fantasy fare as far as the gameplay goes, but it's done well. It looks smooth. And again, this is what they wanted to show us. Doesn't mean that this is exactly how it's going to work when we have that controller in our hands. Might be the buggiest nightmare out there. We just don't know. But judging by the 20 minutes that I saw beautiful landscapes. I saw varying biomes. I saw varying monsters. I saw combat that looked engaging and interesting. Hopefully it plays out that way. I just started my little checkbox. I'm interested in Elden Ring because I like fantasy in general. Let me start going through how's the combat look, how's the visuals look, Of course, I'll still have to wait for the story portion. So I think I gave it maybe a little less of a bar of having to wow me than you two did. But I will concede the points that if you were looking for something that wasn't just you want to check out a few minutes of gameplay, if you were looking for that sell me moment, and you were on the fence about it prior to watching this trailer, I might agree with you that it doesn't really have that sell me moment.
Mhm.
But I also don't think the game really needs one at this point. It's been sold, like it or not, through an absurd hype campaign over a ridiculously extended period of time. You already know if you're buying Elden Ring right now. I mean, you just know. You've either pre-ordered it or you're going to buy it on release day because you just don't pre-order things, or you're not.
And if I'm not, it's their job to make me want to, and they didn't
Yes.
do that here.
Yes.
It is, but I
So
don't
there
think
you go.
I don't think you were the audience for this yet.
Why am I not the audience?
think,
It's open world fantasy RPG. I love those.
I think you that audience will come around Christmas or New Year's when the advertising campaign starts.
Oh, well, maybe
Being,
that'll
"Now
be the
let's
wow.
sell
Maybe
it."
that's when we get the wow. Sure.
Maybe that's when you get the Jason Winter I need a wow moment before I shell out cash for this. Maybe. I think this was to just kind of sate a burning desire that had been there and whet the appetite a little more for people who are already deeply invested in following the game. And I think it nailed it for me on that front. I will admit that it's not exactly the box mover for people that aren't aware of the game at all, because it does look more generic as far as fantasy fare, Yad.
Yeah, and see, for me, that's just the problem. It's too generic. I like I said, it's very pretty, but is it enough to be just that. These
Clearly, though,
days
no
with
falling
games and
damage.
stuff like that, it needs.
Yeah,
I
especially
think
when
it,
that horse goes rocketing off the
yeah,
cliff earlier.
yeah, it needs a bit more to me these days. Because especially with, I mean, how much time do we all have to actually play games with everything else going on in our lives? And we all have X amount of time to devote to playing games. Is this enough for it to be a very pretty but kind of generic fantasy to rate hours of playtime in our
For me,
life?
yes. Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
like everything.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
don't. There's things I don't like.
You try everything. Let's put it that
I
way.
do. I do
Yeah.
You do.
try to at
Yeah.
least try everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
it plus I mean, so some of us do have a few more hours in a day to play video games than others do. But for the average person out there, they don't have as much time as we do to play video games.
Look, my mom's in chat saying she'd try it.
Oh wow,
Your
okay.
mom try it. Oh, wait a
Yeah,
second.
Getting
she
your
said she'd
mom
try
involved
it.
in this.
She said she'd try it.
All
Yeah.
right.
By the way, speaking of familiar relationships, I don't know if he's in chat or not, but Lou, Corey, my younger brother Corey, goes by Lou. You guys know him as Lou, I think, most of you. Some of you know him as Corey. Turns 30 today, so happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. Why does one character look like the Flash? I don't know.
Well, wait
I
till you
don't
see the guy with the wheel around his neck.
Right. But anyway.
Oh, does he turn 31? Oops, I got it wrong when I was talking to him earlier. I thought he was 10 years behind me.
Ooh.
He is. Oh, that's right. Okay, so when he turns 9 years behind me in November, in February, I am going to be 10 years ahead of him again. So it's not quite 10 years. Well, I got to
Right.
fix that. I was going to call him after the show anyway, so I'll
Oh,
fix
Q,
that.
the flash thing, like someone went all red. That's another player you're playing alongside.
Yeah.
But I did get him a birthday present. It'll be shipping when it releases. He wanted Battlefield, so I bought him for that. Happy birthday anyway, even though I got the numbers wrong. I was like, he's normally 10 years. Yeah, whatever. So speaking of the Elden Ring, we were talking and we got classes. Yes, I wanted to show you the classes. So these were what? Apparently tweeted out, Jason? Is this what
Yeah,
these
well,
are?
I don't know what the date is. Yeah, sometime recent.
Getting a look
yeah.
at, we got 5 different classes. One of them is shown in both slides, so don't think there's 6. That last one is shown in both slides there.
Yeah, if I play,
so
I'm totally going to be so I can have a wheel around my neck.
Got that, and then we got these guys. I mean, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Prophet or the bare-chested dude with the club. Maybe I'll be him instead. I don't want to be just another
I think
guy
you
in
should
big
stream
armor.
that way from now on. Just bare-chested holding a club.
Can I have the
And
wheel
then the
around my
other
neck
hand on the
instead, maybe?
mouse. Yeah. There you go. All right. Jason's favorite time of quarters is up. Financials. We're not going to go really deep into everybody's financials. We already did that on MMOBomb.com's Always Online podcast yesterday. That is up on MMOBomb. You can see it right at the top of the banner. So head on to MMOBomb.com, click on it, and jump in. But in taking a look across the board, we know Call of Duty Vanguard launched yesterday, right? Yesterday. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I do have it installed and everything ready to go. But they kind of need that one to do well, and I'm sure it will. They tend to do well, but
It's a Call of Duty.
ActiBliz kind of needs that one to do well, Jason, because the third quarter, it wasn't terrible, but it also didn't really inspire a lot of confidence going forward in the short term.
Yeah, and it's probably good that they got it out before the other 2 big shooter franchises do theirs, Battlefield and Halo, because that's going to be a competitive Call of Duty season, I think. And I think I looked at Battlefield on Metacritic and it was getting like 80 so far, so it's sort of okay-ish, but yeah, Blizzard, they're down a bit. Not as much as you would have thought, if you were
With
really
all the legal
hardcore
stuff and everything.
Yeah, hardcore into all that stuff. Yeah, because this was the first quarter we really saw the results of that. But they're only down about 10% what they were the previous quarter, but actually kind of on par with what they were a year ago in the same quarter, and more than they were prior to that. So it's like, the company's always going up, and then it just kind of does this little dip right here, like similar to what it was like a year ago, but certainly enough of an issue that, as we said last week, Bobby Kotick, put out the whole thing about here's all the stuff we're doing and so on and so forth. Because executives hate it when they drop at all. Executive shareholders, they hate any drops. They always got to keep going up, 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 up. When it drops at all, that's like mild panic time. If you know the exact reason for it, in this case, it's probably pretty obvious what it was.
Yeah. Also, on the news of the lackluster, let's call them financials, they weren't really up, they weren't really down. The dollar amount was up, the percentage was not. They also brought news in. Yad, that we aren't going to see Overwatch 2 and Diablo in 2022 at all. Those are probably now 2023 titles.
Maybe.
And I think that if you're a current stockholder, that's probably the announcement you cared about more than anything else. When are those titles coming out? And is probably funneling, and I hate to say it, I wanted to see them punished for what's going on legally. But what they're probably financially going to get punished for most in the short term is the announcement of those two titles being backed up into 2023, considering when many of us thought one, if not both of those titles could have made 2021 and definitely was going to make 2022. No, now they're both in 2023.
Right, but is pushing those back a result of the legal troubles they're in with the state and such? That's the question I have. Is that is it a result of that because of the employees and stuff and taking protesting, wanting better environments and stuff, which is what they should get. It should have been there in the first place, which would make workflow and stuff a lot better. So is the games being pushed back like that a result of that? Is it all part of the whole thing that's coming down with Blizzard?
I would like to believe that, but I'm going to go with no.
Okay. You think it's just normal Blizzard BS?
Yeah, because I mean, that happened like 3 months ago. So even if they had all just quit for 3 months and done zero work at all, they'd be 3 months behind. Which this is at least a 6 to 9 month delay. Because these were probably our mid next year. They were planning for these to be out. So
yeah, I can see them actually pushing it back even out of 2023 into 2024.
It wouldn't shock me.
Right.
It wouldn't shock me, but I think it'd be detrimental.
Totally. It'd be totally.
I think they just release it full of bugs at this point. At that point,
probably. Like I said, their stock is down. It's not going to stay that way. We all know it's not going to stay that way. If you were talking to Zach, this is very, buy into the dip. If you've been interested in picking up stock, as much as I would tell you, God, just ethically don't. It's probably a good time to buy
Here's
Blizzard
a question
stock.
I have. If you buy Blizzard stock, does that mean you get a vote on Bobby Kotick's compensation next year?
Ooh.
Depends on the amount you buy.
Well, sure. I'm saying if you buy 100 shares, and obviously other people are going to have 10,000. It's not that much, but could you get just a little bit of the vote on it?
A fraction of the vote.
Some tiny
if
bit.
Enough of us buy into it all together. Like that whole GameStop thing.
It's gonna be a lot of us. It's gonna take a lot of us. On the other side of the financial coin, EA just having just going gangbusters. Apex Legends is now up to $1.6 billion. Zach's exactly right. I mean, you do technically get that vote, but EA $1.6 billion on Apex Legends life entirely. FIFA making ridiculous amounts of money. EA is just doing very well financially, but they also, it's important to point out, they think we're idiots, and it's not like typical, I'm a business, I think my customers are dumb sometimes. We've done all of that. We screwed up with Star Wars Battlefront 2. We got the whole FIFA Ultimate, Madden Ultimate Team thing going. We're facing litigation, but we still think you're stupid. Enough, Jason, that they had no problem putting big people behind EA front and center to say, none of your thoughts matter. And in fact, you're wrong because 9 out of 10 don't.
Yeah. By the way, did you know also that 9 out of 10 people don't pay anything to play FIFA Ultimate Team?
That's apparently what I heard.
Yeah,
multiple times.
Just to remind you, I just want to remind you that 9 out of 10 people do not pay to play FIFA Ultimate Team. That's 3 times you mentioned it now. We'd have to go 2 more times to mention it as often as their executive did in that interview, because that was his go-to talking point that he had. sticky tape to his computer apparently whenever the reporter for Eurogamer, Wesley Ian Poole, ever brought up some uncomfortable point, such as when he asked, what happens, when the executive said, just like in real world football, loot packs are just like that. You pay money, you get a guy. And Wesley and Poole responded by saying, no, it's not how it works in real football.
No.
But if you want a free agent, you pay your money for it and you get the guy you bought.
Yeah.
And the response to
Yeah.
that was, did you know that 9 out of 10 people don't pay for FIFA Ultimate Team?
Mhm.
Oh.
That was a direct response to that
Well,
rebuttal of his argument. So it's like,
yeah,
come on.
and then he rebutted further. He said, I completely accept that. Wesley did. He said, fine. I accept that 9 out of 10. Fine. That's not the point. The point is, you could pay your way to success, and many people do. And Chris Bruzzo said, he said, and that's called choice. That's called player choice. Players have a choice. And Wesley was like, to pay to win?
Really?
They have a choice to pay to win?
Do I have a choice not to face that guy when I'm playing?
My God. Reading that article, I needed a drink so bad after that. That hurt.
Wesley says, but my opponent might have been the 10. They might have been in the percentage who spent. How do I know? How do I know I was playing on a level playing field against that person? Chris Bruzzo says, the reality, Wes, and we study this constantly, FIFA Ultimate Team is by far and away a game of skill, and the player's skill is by far the fundamental contributor to that player's success rate. And it was just like, Wesley must have been banging, God bless him, because he did a great job in this interview.
Right.
But he must have been banging his head on the desk. He's like, I am not talking about whether player skill wins more often than... I am literally just questioning you on the ethics and morality of using this monetization model that clearly has problems. And
but did you know,
Chris
9 out of 10.
Exactly. Boom.
And he said, look, I will show you my ethics and morality. And he opened up his wallet and showed him the money inside it.
Yeah, big stacks of cash. I mean, they just absolutely think we're idiots, guys. They don't care. They have no
FIFA
regard for you as a person. Yeah. I think the worst part of this, from like a morality standpoint, by the way, was the fact that Chris Bruzzo had the audacity to ask players to not be so harsh in comments and critique online of the game because that hurts the developers' feelings. This is a company that doesn't want you to know who all these big companies don't want you to know individual developer names, don't want you to know individual director names. They just want you to know that that's an EA game, that's a Blizzard game, that's this game, that's this game. But because it helps them this time in what they want to say, hey, don't be so critical. There's developers here. You're hurting their feelings. And Wesley said flat out, he was like, 90% of online feedback has nothing to do with features developed in the game. They are aimed directly at executive decisions regarding these types of monetization practices. And Chris was like, you can't tell the difference. You can't tell the difference. It hurts their feelings. We're all one team.
You can't tell the difference at EA because they go through so many developers and coders that they don't remember the names themselves.
They lay off the entire team and hire them back the next time.
Yeah.
Unreal. All right, let's take a look at some things, Jason, that were canceled or delayed right now in the last week or so, and then we'll buzz into what's actually coming out in November. It's been a couple months since we've had a news week where we were able to do this, but I've grabbed a few titles that are coming out. We'll get everybody's take on them and whether they want to pick them up or not. Jason, first up, one you wanted to talk about from the same people that make Civilization.
Yeah, Marvel's Midnight Suns, which was something it's supposed to be a strategy game, like sort of an XCOM-ish kind of thing, I believe, using Marvel characters. And they had a really slick trailer for it a couple months ago, like just 2 months ago. And they're going to launch it. They said they were going to launch in March 2022, and then they're like, yeah, that was 2 months ago. We didn't mean it. So they're delaying to the second half of 2022. And now talking about all the random crap you get with with FIFA or with the Ultimate Team or whatever, all the stuff you always hear from them.
Yeah.
I'm a little tired of always hearing, it was a difficult decision. Just retire that phrase, all right?
Put it right up on the shelf next to in case you missed it.
Yeah, put it there. They said,
Don't forget.
Yeah.
Don't forget the other part of that phrase. It was a difficult decision, but due to COVID.
Yeah, right.
They actually didn't mention
Due to
COVID, I think.
They did not. I
Not
will
in
give
this
them
one.
credit
my.
on this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although it is a bit weird to reveal a game and then delay it 2 months after the reveal. That's a little weird.
Could the guys making the dates talk to the guys developing the game? Could they just talk every now and then?
Yeah, that one's a little weird. Take-Two. Now, this is kind of a rumor report from insiders who don't want to be named. But they apparently canceled a $53 million project.
Whatever.
Based on Hangar 13, developed by Hangar 13. They were working on a game. This comes from Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg, which reports that people familiar with the decision said that further development of an unannounced title in its pipeline has ended. Codename Volt, the game had reportedly gone through multiple iterations since first being conceived, but ultimately, what led to its cancellation was the repeated reboots, technical hiccups, and challenges caused by COVID.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
I knew it would come up eventually.
The Bloomberg report says it was set to be a new intellectual property for Hangar 13, but 2K executives didn't see it as a worthwhile investment because of the amount of time needed in development before it became a finished product. I'm going to say I guess they learned their lesson on, what was that, the Noir title, L.A. Noir. Yeah, when they just funneled hundreds of millions to try and rescue that one and push it out the door. I feel like they said, wait, we're at 53 million and it needs how much? Oh no, we're done. We're done. What's up, 10-5? Welcome to chat.
I can also give them a little credit for talking about being a completely new IP and having to do all that. Like, you look at how some of those have done, stuff like Anthem or...
Right, but the thing is, how did you get to the $50 million price point? If that's going to be your argument, hey, you're going to have to prove yourself every step of the way. Milestones, right? Project milestones. How did you get to 53 million on a totally unknown IP that you were going to be a little shaky about because it's an unknown IP and everything? How did you get to that point and then go, okay, enough's enough, guys? We have, what didn't you, at what point did they make milestones and then stop making them that you're like, yeah, this is enough? It had to be rebooted multiple times. I think if it's an unknown IP, once you reboot it, if you reboot it once, it was lucky. It was lucky to get that shot. You don't do it again, right?
I don't know. Wasn't there some Ubisoft thing they keep changing leads on and rebooting and?
Well, that they have that's different. That's contractual. They have a contract with the Singapore government that game has to come out. That's different. That's
how
a little
you get
different.
to that price tag.
How many times was New World rebooted? Probably.
Right.
But see, exactly my point. They just shut things down. They were just
they should have shut down New World probably.
Breakaway, nope. Crucible, nope. Shut them down. Then we got Lost Ark coming up with loot boxes. We talked about that on MMO Bombs Always Online too. That there's going to be the loot boxes. They're already in the East. We just don't know the impact on what they're going to be in the West. But apparently, it is enough that they won't be available in Belgium. The game won't be available in Belgium and the Netherlands because you can't do that shit there.
Interesting.
That is weird because somebody on MMO Bomb's comments said, they're just cosmetic and they're in-game rewards only. And I'm like, well, that's what we thought too. But that wouldn't disqualify them from Belgium and Netherlands because you couldn't buy them with cash. So we reached out to ask the team, and they haven't replied to us yet. They replied saying, we've sent the questions to the team. As soon as we have answers, we'll give them back to you. So it's not like they ignored us.
It'd still be discounted in those countries. They don't like loot boxes at all. Random stuff you can buy, whether it's cosmetic or whatever. Yeah.
Right. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We asked for clarification on exactly what the loot boxes will look like when they come here. When Lost Ark comes here. Currently
actually
in beta.
Kind of interesting.
Oh, I like Lost Ark.
It's looking interesting. Yeah, it's looking good.
I like Lost Ark. I've played it. I think this is the beta that's running right now. I think is the third or fourth time I've gotten my hands on it. Zach Sharps over at MMO Bomb has played it extensively on the Korean servers. and did a video for it. And he's going to do the first look for MMO Bomb when it comes out. He called that like 2 years ago. Whenever Amazon drops this, I'm doing the first look. Okay, Zach, it's yours. It's yours, brother. You got it. You got it. One other thing canceled. This I never would have seen. Jason, what the hell's this? I'm not a huge Harry Potter guy. I have no idea what the hell's going on here.
Yeah, but are you a Pokemon Go fan?
No, not. I mean, it was
No,
installed on my phone
you
for a
know.
couple of days.
Oh my god, dude! I got like 50 Pikachus. But anyway, yeah. The follow-up to that, which I'm sure they thought was going to be another huge moneymaker, was Harry Potter Wizards Unite. And it wasn't a huge moneymaker. It is now being shut down. It's going to close down January 31st.
Womp, womp.
Yeah, it was kind of like not well received right out of the gate. I had it for a little bit on my phone, and granted, I have an older phone, but like the Pokemon worked fine on it. It was a little slow, but it worked fine. This was impossible to play because it just ran so slow. It had much more graphics, much fancier, and so on. And just didn't match the whole. Had the same kind of general gameplay of like collecting things as you go around. Only you're collecting like spirits that you're trying to capture or monsters or whatever. And doesn't have that like Pokemon just is naturally suited for that. And I just think the Harry Potter universe isn't really as much. So it just didn't strike.
There was another problem with that because I had asked the wife about it because I had never played it. I had no idea it was a Harry Potter game, but apparently she had played it, and we do have more modern phones than you have there, Jason.
Probably.
But the problem she ran into, and she only played it for the first 2 weeks, was that you have energy.
There was that.
So it's a stamina system thing,
right? Well, kind of. It's magic energy that you need to do things, and you randomly get more magic energies from doing things.
Right.
But the RNG was terrible for it. The amount of time you had to wait between playtime to use this magic energy that it recharged was also massive, and it made you not forget about the game essentially before it recharged. The only other way to get more energy is to pay money.
Ding,
so
ding,
yeah.
ding, ding.
Yeah, so it kind of went out of her phone real quick. So yeah, I think that's one of the problems they have.
Let's take a peek at some games actually that are going to make it. So we've already talked about Call of Duty Vanguard. I do have it installed. We're going to be doing a first look on it for mmobomb.com this week. That one will be done by Ethos. Also have a video going up for him next week as well. A little updated first look for Apex Legends since it's had some massive changes since we did our original first look. So we're still trying to go through some of that stuff. I booted this up because it was an option for streaming yesterday for MMO Bomb, and I did like the initial train level, and then that was it. I logged off. So I don't have too many personal opinions about Call of Duty itself yet. I'm going to play it probably tonight if my brother accepts my apology for thinking he was 30 and not 31. Although I guess it could be worse, right? I could have thought he was 32 and he's 31.
Yeah, it's never a problem if you think they're younger.
Right. I erred on the right side, So yeah, I'll probably play it with him tonight. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not generally huge into the Call of Duties, and I know the campaigns are usually only like 6 to 8 hours-ish long, and everything I'm seeing puts this campaign right at around that time group, that length of time. I usually stick with the multiplayer for like the first season, and then I kind of fall out of it because I just don't play it enough to really dive into it. So, but I spend $60. I don't buy the collector's editions, and I get 3 or 4 months out of it. That's cool by me. I do like the way it looks on my computer. The first level I did. That's all I got to go by personally. But looking at streams and reviews, it seems to fit the bill, Jason. It does what Call of Duty's supposed to do, for better or for worse.
There was a meme going around the other day where it said, what was the last Call of Duty game or what was the first Call of Duty game you played? And I think it was also the last one I played, which was Call of Duty Finest Hour for the PS2, which came out in 2004.
Ooh, wow.
So
not a fan, huh?
Yeah, it's never been a franchise. It's just not quite on the same level as Zombies, but World War II is kind of my same general, usually meh feeling.
Well, yeah, I mean, even when they move it into different eras, it's still basically the same story.
Sure.
It's just everything's shades of brown. Go shoot it.
I can be pulled in by window dressing. I can play a World War I game that's supposed to be World War II, but that's
look, we're in a brown map with brown trains wearing brown coats and brown hats, and our guns are dyed brown, except for that guy who's got a Skittles-looking gun. I don't know what he's doing with that, but he just killed me 4 times. I hate this game. This sucks. Yod, not a Call of Duty guy?
Nope.
Easy enough.
Not at
Next
all.
up, Forza Horizon 5. Lots of buzz about this one. You can actually play this one right now, depending on what package you pre-ordered of the game. The official release is in 3 days on the 9th. It's already available to install. We talked about how big the file is. I don't know. I'm a Gran Turismo, like, I'm not huge into car games in general, but I kind of lean onto the Gran Turismo side of things a little more than the Forza side of things historically. Not that I've played every single one of both of those, but size of the file aside, Jason, Forza looks freaking phenomenal.
It does. Although I feel like I'd rather watch the game than have to actually play it, because I'm not as into the really realistic driving games that I used to be. I just want to watch someone just put up on big TV and pretend that it's actually like a real driving thing, because it looks beautiful.
Just stream it, huh?
Yeah.
Yod, you a driving guy?
Nope. Same boat as Jason. I'd rather watch it. It's pretty.
Jurassic World Evolution 2 also comes out on the 9th. My oldest son and I actually enjoyed the concept of this one. It's a Jurassic Park, basically Sim Jurassic Park. Although the first one we did have problems with in that it was pretty limiting. Like, you couldn't just... If I gave you a Sim Jurassic Park, Yod, what do you want to do? You just give me a grassy island and let me go. Just give me a grassy and let me do whatever the hell I want. And you really couldn't do that in that game. It was more objective. Yeah, you could build things where you wanted them and how you wanted them. But it was very objective-based, where you had to meet these certain objectives. And, yeah, it wasn't as free-form as, like, a SimCity or something. This one's supposed to be a little more in that free-form vein. So I'm actually really looking forward to this, because I like the idea of a Sim Jurassic Park, but I want an actual Sim Jurassic Park, not what we got the first time around. So I'm kind of looking forward to this one, Yod.
It does look interesting. Not really. I didn't buy the first one, so... I don't know. I'll see what it looks like when it comes out. One of those deals, for me.
Jason?
Again, I watched someone play a good bit of the first game and did think it looked pretty cool, and I always had it on my wish list. Like, maybe I'll get this at some point, because I love a good sim game. That's what I really get into these days. So maybe I'll check this one out at some point. It's not a first day must buy kind of thing, though.
Much anticipated sequel to Frontiers, highly successful Jurassic World Evolution, building upon the groundbreaking and immersive 2018 management sim, introduces a compelling new narrative campaign. All right, we knew that was going to be there. Incredible new features, awe-inspiring new dinosaurs. That was another thing. The dinosaur roster in the first one was rather limited, in my opinion. Brought to life with captivating authenticity, together with expanded construction and more customization options. The result is an even bigger, better, and authentic Jurassic World game. And you know what? That last sentence is all I wanted out of the first one. That's all I wanted out of the first one. So hopefully this go around. It was an enjoyable time, but it could have been better. GTA Trilogy comes out on 11th. This is, to be clear, GTA 3 and Vice City and whatever the other one is. It's a 3, I can't remember.
San Andreas?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
No.
It's a 3-pack. It's the Grand Theft Auto 3 Trilogy on the 11th. I'm not buying this for the 4th time. It's not going to happen.
You sure?
I'm done. I'm
what about when it comes out the 5th time?
I don't care how pretty this looks. I'm done with 3, 4, and 5. I'm done with all 3 of them. I'm not buying another fucking Skyrim in my lifetime. I'm just not doing it for these.
Hey, you are. You're buying
anymore.
another Skyrim. You're buying Elden Ring, aren't you? That's another Skyrim.
That's not Skyrim, you little bitch. Stop it.
I don't know.
Is this on anybody? Like, is this on anybody's pickup list?
No.
I mean, I think you really gotta be into GTA 3 to. You have 5 at this point.
I don't do remakes, unless they're actually a different game, like FF7.
Yeah, I'll do remakes. That's fine. I don't mind doing remakes, but Battlefield 2042, what I bought Lou for his birthday, comes out later on the 19th. I'm not going to pick this one up only because for me, it's kind of like, which do I want this year? Ting. All right, looks like we're buying Battlefield. Ting. All right, it's Call of Duty this year. I usually kind of just go with one or the other. And as much as I joke about flipping a coin, it's usually like whatever Perry, Lou, and Havoc are going to get. Just so you know, we all cruise together and stuff like that. So I'm not going to be picking up Battlefield. Jason, you kind of alluded to some reviews from beta earlier that, might, just like Call of Duty, it probably sounds like it does what it's supposed to, but nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, but the fact that I haven't played, that it's not just, like I said, your brown World War II guys, and, like I said, I played around with it a bit more, has a resemblance to PlanetSide, so, yeah, I think I kind of like this one. I'll at least look into it.
Yad?
Battlefield's one of those games where I always look at it and go, "That's really cool. I like the story that they're showing in the trailer," and then I forget about. I don't know
There's
why.
no story. You don't need the story. You blow shit up.
Yeah, but I don't know why. Like the combat evolve or the previous one that they did, where I think it had like space and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
the
that.
space one that was a little
Yeah.
too out there, I think, for me.
Yeah, but things like that, I see the trailer. It's like, that looks really cool. I think I want to play it, and then I forget to buy it, or something else comes up, and it just
Then I forget to buy it.
Look, on the bright side, the last podcast I was on was with someone who forgot to breathe, so
That is true.
But then the next one comes out, and I'm like, hey, that looks pretty cool. Oh wait, I was supposed to buy the last one.
He said, Yad's like, you know what? Battlefield 1942 was a good fucking game. It was a good game. I should buy this next one.
You can get that. You can get Game Pass for just $1.
True.
Play the old one.
Forza and Halo when it comes.
Yeah, that's the other one.
That's early December, so it doesn't make our list right now. We're just talking about the November titles. But yeah, 10-5 says, I have the same feeling about Battlefield and Call of Duty as I do boiled chicken. Yeah, it's food, and you could eat it, but it really doesn't have any flavor.
That's why I forget about it.
Yeah, but if you've never eaten boiled chicken like me, you might give it a try.
Any other titles in November that either of you are kind of keeping an eye on, maybe interested in?
I looked down the list, and Tunchi and Demon Turf look like it's got some decent art style going on there.
Yep, sold already. You sold it to the artist. Surprise.
Those look like they've got some cool, fun, kill things and little storyline going on.
Yeah, and I like a good, like I said, I like a good strategy game, 4X strategy game. So I thought Punk Wars looked kind of neat if I was going to pick something out from that.
Nice. Two last little bits. Just kind of want to get your take on them. They're not huge news or anything at the moment. We did speculate on previous shows here that SEGA and Microsoft could be having some discussions, maybe in the acquisition category of things, with Microsoft looking to acquire and wanting to kind of move into Japan a little more, and SEGA kind of seemed like a good fit, but we hedged our bets on that one. We thought it was possible but unlikely. Well, it does turn out that the two of them are going to have a little bit of a partnership here, Jason, and exactly what this partnership is going to yield, we don't really know, but it's not an acquisition.
No, Sega is going to do next generation development environment built on Microsoft's Azure cloud platform, which will focus on new and innovative titles where the key focuses are global, online, community, and IP utilization.
Yeah, and that's a lot of buzzwords to say we're going to do a lot of cloud stuff, but that doesn't necessarily make... I mean, potentially, could it lead to exclusive titles for Microsoft's platforms? Of course it could, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. I mean, even Sony uses the Azure cloud platform for different things. So, yeah, I take it for what it is. Maybe it means something. Maybe it doesn't. We'll see as we go on. Last, I just wanted, out of curiosity, to see, this was something Ninja brought up in one of our chats last week, and I just wanted to see if you guys, what you think about stuff like this. So this is a demake, basically, of Bloodborne, except it's for the original PlayStation 1. This is by Botster over on Twitter. They announced a few days ago that it'll release January 31st of 2022. Now, when it says release, we're not really sure exactly what that means, because can't imagine you really being able to sell this without some people getting a little pissed. and trying to come after you because, you did rip off the copyright stuff. But generally speaking, I've played a few demakes in my life, and they were enjoyable, but I don't know if I really want to go back and play a PlayStation 1 Bloodborne. As a passion project for Buster making this, it's absolutely brilliant. It looks great. It's fantastic to have put years of work into this and have it look like this. Total kudos across the board there. But like, even if it was like, hey, support us with a $5 donation, I'd probably just be donating to you to donate to you. I don't know if I'd ever boot the damn thing up. Jason, do you play stuff like this? Does passion projects like this spark interest in you? I mean, you are a cold bastard, so.
You're so funny, Mike. No.
It looks cool.
It looks
but
cool.
That's about it.
I can certainly acknowledge the skill required to do this.
No doubt.
That's not something you hear about. You say you've played other demakes. I have never heard of someone doing something like this, taking a modern like PS4 game, making it for the PS1. Like, would this count? Would this count as a game older than Torchwick? Could he play this on stream?
I guess it's PlayStation 1, and he likes
sort of.
Bloodborne. I'm sure we could negotiate with him.
Yeah.
But it was made this,
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
But,
it only mimics.
You guys don't do
I gotta go to the rule book. I gotta go to the rule book.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Torchwick stream, the rule book. The game's older than me. Go to the game's older than me file. You guys don't do like hacks or homebrews or demakes or anything like that?
No, man. I have a computer that plays awesome graphics and has all sorts of shit on. Why would I want to play this crap?
The artistic value of it is interesting.
Yeah, I would think, God, you would be all over like homebrews and demakes and
stuff. Like I said, the artistic value of it is amazing. To show the skill of being able to do this is awesome.
It's a dying art, right? Because it's a system that you just don't design for anymore.
Right.
There's a reason it's dying.
Yeah, the question is, would I play it though?
Cold prick.
Would I play it though? And the question is, no. No, I would not play it.
I wouldn't either, but I'd probably donate a couple of bucks to you.
Right. That's the whole thing. It's interesting. Supporting the artist is important because supporting arts is good. But okay, you made it. Now what?
Let's head over and do games of the week.
Support artists.
That's smart. That's smart.
This is the end of the show, last segment, where what we do is we give you a game of the week. Each of us is going to give you one game that we recommend you check out. It could be something we're playing now, played in the past, never played before, but think it's worth checking out. Video game, board game, card game, doesn't matter. All three of us will give you one. In the comments below on Ready Check Radio and over on YouTube, you give us who won the recommendation challenge for this week. Yad, you go first.
All right, so this week I found out that there is a game called Record of Lodoss War.
I love
Wonder Labyrinth.
Oh, I played Record of Lodoss War on the Dreamcast, and it was a fantastic tactical game. This is a Metroidvania game. Oh.
And it dropped in March on Steam, and it will be in platforms in December. So
Mike's doing after the show.
Yeah, I've never seen. I was watching like.
What do you mean after?
He's downloading it now.
What do you mean after the show? I just booted Steam up to go see it. It's on Steam?
Yeah, it's on Steam right now. But I was watching RPG Horror Stories, and they were playing this game in the background while they were reading the horror stories. I'm like, what the heck is that? That's Record of Lodoss War. So I had to look it up, and yeah, it dropped in March for PC, and it would drop in for consoles in December. Metroidvania style, Deedlit running around doing her thing. So anime and Metroidvania.
I'm not huge in the Record of Lodoss War like lore and everything, but like I said, I put so many hours on record. Yeah, that was Steam dinging. I had to unlock it with my family passcode. I wasn't lying. But it was a Dreamcast game. It was like a Final Fantasy Tactics Ogre Battle in that vein. And that game was tremendous. I have it upstairs. It's so good. I'm gonna have to look at this some more afterwards. God damn it, you might have just won.
Well, you got Mike's vote. Whatever Mike's not even gonna vote for himself now.
Right. Jason, what do you got?
My game of the week is Wreckfest, which, as I said before, I'm not as into driving games as I used to be. But now that I've got now that I'm on the Game Pass hype train, I downloaded and played Wreckfest, which I'd seen people play before in the past. It's got racing, but it's also got a really good damage model. Basically, it's like a racing plus demolition derby kind of thing, and all sorts of great like body parts going off all over the place, and just lots of fun and chaos and destruction, and especially if you get a good multiplayer group going, which I've tried to encourage, because the person I see streaming this the most is Mike B. He always has community nights for it every now and then. I tried to ping him to encourage him to do another one soon, so hopefully I can get down on that and have a whole lot of chaos and driving and stuff with friends.
Nice. I'm going to go with Record of Lotus 4 D-Lit in Wonder Labyrinth.
No. Can't do something somebody else has picked.
I can't do that one.
No.
Mark says very Symphony of the Night ripoff. I mean, it's a Metroidvania.
Yeah.
What do you want? That's the reason it's called that. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, what do okay, fine. I'll go with Metroid Dread. I did finally pick that up. I picked it up last week when I bought Mario Party Superstars. Bought them both at the same time. I had waited on Dread a little bit, but I'll give Metroid Dread the game of the week recommendations. The animations are very similar. A lot of the Metroidvanias are. Yeah,
Do you think they get Mario Party on Game Pass?
That one might be a little challenging. A little challenging. Chat, don't go anywhere. Right after the show, we've got Torchwick going live with games older than us. And guess what? He did, in fact, last Saturday, beat Vagrant Story. How are you feeling?
Yes. I don't believe it.
I'm doing well after last week's success. And before we go any further, I have something for Mr. Jason Winter here.
Oh,
I got the rule book. Okay.
Okay.
Subsection 23, Rule B. If the game is cool enough and looks old, I'm allowed to play it.
Okay.
All right. There we go. All right. Glad we got that clarification in here. All right. So you're done. I know your plan last week was to kind of jump into Castlevania, the Symphony of the Night, speaking of the devil itself. But that was kind of like for Halloween. Are you still planning to do that today, even since it took you a little longer to beat Vagrant Story last week?
Yeah, I'm still going to do it. I think it'll be nice to have a game I'm familiar with that I might be able to just breeze through in like 2, maybe 3 streams. I think that'd be a nice relaxing experience.
There you go, Torchwick. Tarkoth, you can come and just watch and play Symphony of the Night. Don't have to watch a Symphony of the Night ripoff. Just watch Symphony of the Night.
Then again, the way it took how long it took them to do the last one, this might last until next Halloween.
It might.
Maybe. That's going to do it for us. Chat, don't go anywhere. We'll go down for about 15 seconds, relabel everything, and bring it back up. We'll be back, of course, next week with a plethora of streams, and then our shows, The Relic Grind, where we will get into the Final Fantasy delay and live letter that we talked about at the top of the show today in very, very, very excruciating detail. Well, we'll blast doing it, and then we'll be right back here Saturday for another episode of Gaming Gumbo. Until then, Yad, where can everybody find you?
Yada works on Twitter, Yada works on Facebook, and right here on Gaming Gumbo.
Jason.
Find me on Twitter at Winter Informal, streaming at twitch.tv/JasonWinter.
I'm Mike Byrne. Follow me right there at MagicMan1, but more importantly, follow at RC Radio, RAIDEO, and we'll tweet at you every time we go live with a podcast, a streamer, or we're just hanging out doing some tabletop games. Stay safe. See you in the circles.